So, welcome to week 5, and this week we're thinking about how our communities can be clean, both physically and spiritually. And I've got a little quiz for Simon, who's a little bit nervous about it, and it's about how long things take to biodegrade. Are you ready?
This is not my specialist mastermind chosen subject.
Is it
at
not?
all. No, this is not my forte.
Okay,
Here we go.
are you ready?
Yes,
Question
I'm ready.
1.
I'm ready.
How long does it take for an apple core to biodegrade? 1 month or 80 years?
Well, I'm really hoping it's 1 month by the number of apple cores I've thrown into bushes.
Well done. Right, 1 right. That's good. Okay, you ready for the next one? A disposable coffee cup, like you would guess if you didn't take your own cup into a coffee shop, is it going to take 80 to 200 years to biodegrade, or 2 years?
It's definitely not 2 years, so it must be the bigger one.
Yeah, it is.
It's a heck of a long time.
It's a long
and
time.
in fact, some people question whether those cups can even ever biodegrade.
Exactly. I think it depends on what it's made of. Some are made of different things. Okay, difficult one. Tin foil.
I know this one.
Do you?
Yeah.
Go on then. Is it 200 years or never?
No, it's never.
Never.
It's never, which is why we stopped using it at home.
Yeah, and you can buy recyclable tin foil now, but not all of it is. So there you go. Number 4, so you're doing pretty good actually, Si. Banana skin. Is it 1 month or 2 years?
I'm going to go for 2 years because it's a hard old thing, those skins, I reckon. 2 years.
You're really good at this.
2 years.
Mastermind key
2
you
years.
come. 2 years for a banana skin to biodegrade.
So if
it
I
does.
put a banana skin in my compost bin, it's going to take 2 years before it disappears.
And it's going to stink to high heaven for a while.
Gosh, that's a long time, isn't it?
It is a long time. Final one, crisp packets. Now this is a bog standard crisp packet, not one that is biodegradable, because they are beginning to come into use. So is it 80 to 200 years or never?
I'd like to think it does, but I've got a feeling it's never. I'm going to go never.
You got it right!
Oh, I got it
You're
right.
almost 100%. Most of them will biodegrade by 200 years in one way or another.
What's a couple of 100 years?
That's longer than you and I will live.
Yeah, okay.
So if we're thinking
fair.
very much about what we're passing on to the next generations, as much as looking after the world for our own enjoyment, then actually that's really scary, isn't it?
It's quite a long time,
It's a long time that these things that we have now in 200 years' time will only just be breaking down, and then some things like some things like the tinfoil just never ever going to happen. So if we think about our clean world, we can head right back to Genesis, can't we?
Yeah.
And it says right at the end of chapter 1 that God looked and he said it was good. How often do you walk down the street and look at it and go, this is good? We're down at the waterfront now, and even just walking along the road this morning, I didn't look and go, this is good, because actually there was all kinds of litter all over the floor. The world certainly wasn't a clean place, and I didn't look and go, this is good. I actually looked and went, I wonder if I could pick that up and put it in the bin. So this week we're just thinking about how we can make our surroundings, the places that God has placed us in, clean. And we'd love to encourage you to come in a week or so's time on the Sunday, because as part of our morning service, we're going to do a litter pick just in the area around the church. There'll be other opportunities for you to do things if you don't want a litter pick as well, but we're going to together take responsibility to clean our community. It's a great way to meet your neighbours, that's for sure, but is there something you could do where you live that would clean our communities? Simon?
And it's not just litter, obviously, is it, that makes our communities polluted. We pollute our communities by our attitudes, by our relationships that aren't quite working in the way that they should, or just simply no relationship at all, the loneliness that characterises many of our homes and our streets. So what would it be to think about picking up that kind of litter, in inverted commas? And the best way the Bible teaches us to do that is through prayer. Through prayer we can change, we can clear out, clean up some of our neighbourhoods. And our friends Carl and Rebecca Brettel have done a lot about helping to encourage us to pray for our streets. So we'll get that link out in all of this stuff for you to perhaps have a look at this week, or just choose one house that the Lord would lay on your heart and just pray for it every time that you walk past. You might be doing something remarkable to clean something up in your own street or neighbourhood.
And so again, on that Sunday the 1st, we will be prayer walking our area, either physically walking in the area or praying in the church for the area that God has placed our buildings, but also the places that God has placed on our hearts. So that's another opportunity for us to spiritually clean the neighbourhoods that we belong to. Hope you have a good week.